66, I believe we're at. Big week of boxing. A lot of heavyweight stuff to talk about, which I know people at home will enjoy. And we've got various other bits. Obviously, myself and Paolo are here as usual. And I will say, pretty much on time. So we are back to normal.
Hey,
now,
it's crazy though, because we're
good.
never on time. So we start as we need to go on.
Exactly. And we will we'll roll the intro and then we'll get straight. Okay, so we've got some smaller bits of news, and then we'll get into really the bits we care about, which is Parker Wardley and the other little heavyweight stuff that we've got going this week. Small bits of news is that Usyk plans on fighting until he's 41, and then he wants to set up a boxing academy, starting his own academy for training, and he'll be a coach himself. I'm assuming, although I guess it's not confirmed, but I'm assuming this will be in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Additionally, Matchroom have confirmed they have an end-of-year show in Ghana. And we're going to be talking about boxing in Africa, particularly to do with Amir Khan Promotions. But Matchroom have confirmed, I believe it's December 20th in Ghana. And that's kind of where people are thinking potentially we'll see Anthony Joshua if we do before the end of the year. I don't think we will, if I'm honest, but you never know. Maybe they're suggesting he could be on the undercard. That's why I don't think we'd see him, but
yeah,
possible. Also worth noting, Andy Cruz has got his world title shot early next year, 135-pound IBF world title in early 2026. That Matchroom have won the purse bids for today, literally, I think 3 hours ago, pre-recording this. So Andy Cruz will get his title shot in, 10 fights, I think it is?
Hang on, Connor, carry on a minute.
10 fights in, no problem. 10 fights in, Andy Cruz will get that title shot, which is honestly to be expected given his amateur pedigree. If you knew of him beforehand, the best way of really summing him up is that he beat Keyshawn Davis in the amateurs. I think he beat him 3 times and comfortably is everything I've heard. I've never actually watched. I think I've watched one of the fights. I haven't watched the other 2. But from what I know, he beat him pretty comfortably. He's one of the greatest amateurs of all time. So how he does professionally was always going to be an interesting question. We're about 10 fights into Andy Cruz's career. He's getting a world title shot. And that's kind of the only small news that we've got this week. But we'll go back to Africa, actually. We'll start off with Africa and we'll talk about Amir Khan Promotions, who we've spoken about, I want to say, since they really started.
I think if I can butt in, I think the conversation, we briefly mentioned it around when Joshua was talking about fighting Tony Yoka. That was a conversation. And I believe that, or potentially Okolie, and that was in, I think it might have been Okolie's home country. Congo. Is it Congo?
Yeah, it is Congo, yeah.
So there was talks of that. Obviously, since nothing's really materialized from that, we're now seeing Amir Khan making moves. He's already had a card in, I believe, was it Ghana or Nigeria?
He's done a couple. So he's done,
because he had a Hara Davis on his card. Hara Davis come out of obviously retirement to feature on one of the Amir Khan cards.
Yeah, so he's had the card he did recently, Glanton versus Brown. That was Lagos, Nigeria. I believe all of his fights have been there.
But then he's also we go to that point of before. We're talking, the last great massive card that was held, in the continent of Africa. You're talking about Muhammad Ali, Rumble in the Jungle, isn't it? So it's it's good that they're bringing it back because there's such a big boxing fan base over there. If you look at the statistics of people who watch boxing, there's a big market for boxing. They obviously follow certain boxers that they might be influenced by because they're from the same country or whatever the reason may be.
Of course.
But Amir Khan's tapping into a market where, you're bringing boxing to another continent. You're bringing more eyes to the sport. They're filling up some of the venues, obviously, that they're in. Obviously, there's not as much investment maybe at the moment there as there is, say, for example, in Saudi. But, we're talking about dependent on where it is in Africa, because there's so many countries that can host these great events. But I think when we talk about the likes of Adeleye, Lawrence Okolie, like these guys who are going back to fight in where maybe their parents are born or where they're born themselves, depending. Obviously, Adelaide's grew up mainly, like he grew up in Shepherd's Bush or Ladbroke Grove sides, but the heritage is there. Taking events back to Nigeria is a massive thing for Nigeria and a massive thing for African boxing. And I'm excited. I'm excited for it. You're freezing a little bit as well, Connor.
It's not. Yeah, it might be. I think the weather's not helping me at the moment, I'll be honest.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we're talking the biggest events really since Ali. We've now got former world champion Lawrence Okolie, two weight world champion. His Bridgerweight is included, but he still won the title, and he's a heavyweight contender fighting there. David Adeleye obviously brings,
but
at very least, is an entertaining fighter.
But he brings, Adelaide's got a fan base as well, brings a lot of eyes. So Adeleye going to Nigeria to get himself maybe more known out there to people that don't watch boxing. Yeah. I know there will be loads of people that know who Adeleye is. But I think this is brilliant. I think we need to see more of it, to be honest with you. We always talk about, Ennis has made fighting in Philly like what Old Trafford used to be, a fortress. It's not a fortress anymore. But Ennis in Philly is big. You know what I mean? But Adeleye and Okolie on a card in Nigeria is huge. Probably some of the biggest boxing news this year.
Yeah, easily. This fight is 19th of December. The event is Chaos in the Ring. When I say fight, they're not fighting each other, although they could, but they're obviously not. Opponents are yet to be announced. I think generally with these shows, I know they've had quite a few pullouts. I know Rocky Fielding was meant to headline the last one against Glanton, and he ended up getting injured and had to pull out. So I think they're probably waiting. And this event is but this event is in association with Queensbury, who will be helping put the show on, which makes sense given that they're two fighters of Adeleye and Okolie. It's going to be interesting to see, because this is the first time they're going to have massive viewership on their card.
Mm-hmm.
They had a brilliant card last time. They've got Emmanuel Odias, who is a great fighter. If you don't know him, he's represented by 258 Management, which is Anthony Joshua's management company. They also represent Vidal Riley, Shannon Ryan, quite a few other sort of more prospects that are coming up. So he's a brilliant fighter to watch, and he has proved that as well. He's not been signed by anyone just yet, but in fairness, he's with 258, so he does have a promoter. It's interesting. The only thing I'm slightly worried about is for Okolie, who he gets put in there with. Adelaide's coming off of a loss, so Adeleye can really, it's a comeback fight. It's okay for him. Okolie does need a more competitive fight. He doesn't really want to slow down. So it'll be interesting to see who gets put in with him. And also, we know Kabyle has now got a fight for Germany next year confirmed. It's all been happening in the heavyweights this week.
I think it's important to mention, though, that I think just Okolie fighting on the card is, although, like you say, he'd be looking to push on. It could be a tough. It's going to be a tough fight regardless. He's still going to need to train for it pretty hard and intense. But also, like, what they are doing is bigger than just them two doing 12 rounds. Like, what they're doing is huge.
Definitely, yeah.
So I understand. With all due respect, I don't really understand at this stage where you're trying to build up boxing cards in another country, like, for example, Nigeria or Ghana, you would have Rocky Fielding as your main fight. For me,
yeah,
for me, I think, Rocky Fielding, but it makes sense to have Lawrence Okolie and Adeleye there.
I agree. I think the only reason I can think maybe is that last card wouldn't have had the backing of more recent. I don't really know. I'm just thinking maybe because they pulled him out of retirement. He did fight Canelo. He has been in some pretty big fights, Rocky Fielding. Dan Aziz was on the card. So Dan Aziz has got fans. Aziz was the one that has beat Fielding, and then Fielding retired after. You are right. I have no idea. I mean, realistically, someone from Liverpool headlining a show in Nigeria doesn't make a lot of sense.
I'm saying from like a marketable point of view, and I think
exactly.
I put my hat on. Again, I go back to the point of working within a boxing promotion as you do, and it's like you're going to identify essentially what fighters can sell what tickets, or what fighters can bring the most fans in. For us to put a card on in Maidstone, Kent, doesn't then make sense to have a headline fighter from Glasgow on our show.
Yeah.
Do you see where I'm coming from? So, or someone coming over from Germany or any of these countries to headline the card as main event. Like you kind of there needs to be the why to why their main event. Naturally, with professional boxing, be it world champions,
of course,
popularity, etc.
Yeah, social media aspect coming to it.
But more people are going to know who Dan Aziz are, Adeleye, and Okolie in Nigeria than they are Rocky Fielding, and it's just a fact.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and you're right. I don't understand that, to be fair, but for whatever reason, that's what they decided. That fell through anyway. We're now talking purely 19th of December. What we need is opponents to be announced, and then we can really talk about this a bit more. But I think it's a great event. I'd love to see boxing coming back to Africa. There's over 1 billion people there, and really all you got to do is look at a lot of the world champions and look at family heritage and where a lot of these guys originate from, where their families originate from, and then you'll see that there's a 1 billion people that I would love to see training and love to see what we could come out of that, because there's in the same way Asia, in the same way South America, there's so many people that you just want to know, is there more?
Do you know what else it taps into though? And I know we've got to move on, but I just want to say very quickly, do you know what else it taps into? Alongside the boxers, let's take this card on the 19th of December, for example.
Yeah.
Big card in terms of the stars that they got on. Obviously, we're waiting to hear their opponents, like you said. But also, the venue's going to need people to work in it. They're going to need security. You're also, alongside that, I think as well, opens up the opportunity to media creators, specifically maybe in that country or that region, who want to interview boxers. So now you've got more people covering boxing, which we need, in a different country, that is able to show their talents off. Like, I think it's a win-win for productivity. So it creates more jobs, productivity, and hopefully more talents, both in the ring and outside the ring, come out of it as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't even think of that. But the side of it, there's so many aspects to it that are positive. And we're seeing now, as I said at the start, Matchroom have confirmed they have a show for Ghana December 20th as well. So the day after this, actually. There's no announcement on who's fighting, what they're actually doing for it, whether it's next gen, whether it's Matchroom. Sometimes we'll just do an event in an area and they'll find people in that local area and they'll fight. So we have no idea, but you never know. It
would be good to do a next gen event in Ghana though, because the upside to it is you're tapping into talent there that's maybe not been found or haven't had the platform to box previously, because like you say, the lack of shows that are televised, maybe to the extent of the Zone, Matchroom, etc. You've got new fighters putting themselves on the stage. Again, productivity, but also mainly a next-gen show in Ghana means that we could potentially see more talent, uprising talent, and potentially another world champion.
Yeah,
or future world champion.
of course. Yeah, and it would be nice to see world champions that aren't from North America and Europe all the time.
Mm.
You know, like we talk about Naoya Inoue from Japan, and he's like the reason that so many people love him is because he's gone from almost unheard of to boom because he's so great, and now he's representing the whole of Japan. And there's something about someone representing the whole country.
But then look.
Hello,
at
AJ.
What's
Welcome
up, man?
to the stream.
Look at all the great boxers. Like, let's be honest, Connor. Japan have always put on or have done historically good shows, but there's been a lot of hype in the last couple of years around their shows for good reason as well. But look how many fighters have come out of there now and been founded. We talk about Inoue, but we can't forget Nakatani. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like there's plenty of like there was a card I watched. There was about 4 world champions on that card. So it's like, and I link it to what's going on in Ghana and Nigeria, obviously in December. December, yeah. And unreal. Hopefully, we get a pool of fighters there where the show just runs itself, and then you bring in the other big talents from across the world. It's interesting, man. Like the main thing is, and I'm going to rattle some people with this, but once again, boxing showing why it's bigger than UFC.
Bigger than UFC?
100%. Have that one, Dana White.
Well, that's fine, because that's actually what we're going to talk about now. Eddie Hearn and Dana White have been having a bit of beef this week. And I mean, I got to be honest, like, I'm a big UFC fan as well as I am boxing. I'm far more boxing than UFC.
I'm a bigger boxing fan, yeah.
But they've been having a bit of back and forth. I don't think Dana White maybe appreciated what Eddie Hearn has done for boxing. But Eddie Hearn's responded, or Matchroom have responded in typical Matchroom fashion. It's quite funny. I mean, I don't think it's as serious. These two get on, or seem to. I mean, what was it? Earlier this year, last year, Eddie Hearn was, or Dana White was at an Eddie Hearn event. Eddie Hearn was at a Dana White event. So there's really nothing in that. But this weekend we got a good example of boxing versus UFC. We got the UFC Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane in what is it, UFC 321.
Yeah.
And we got Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley. Both pay-per-view, both big events. But I think we know which one's going to do better.
Let me ask you a question. Who's getting paid more money on the weekend, do you reckon?
Oh, we know who's getting paid more money. We like, unless you're talking Dana White or Eddie Hearn. But
Joseph Parker's world level, yeah?
Yeah.
Wardley's coming into this fringe. Like, he's proven at British, European, but he ain't ever fought anyone like Parker, let's be honest, yeah?
I don't think Wardley's fringe, by the way. I think that's actually a compliment.
So we say British.
Yeah, he's proved he's the best of the British lot. Well, but he's not, because Daniel Dubois still there.
So fringe European.
AJ, fringe European. It's a hard one because like he could knock everyone out. But I wouldn't. If he goes in and knocks Joseph Parker out, it's not a massive surprise. But
my next question is, what's the salary Aspinall's getting to fight?
We can find out. Their contracts are normally.
Aspinall's is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the UFC, or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to know how much Aspinall's getting paid.
At the last time he fought, he earned $500,000.
No worries. That's undisputed heavyweight champion.
Yeah, he'll get paid more this time, but okay, let's say double it. He's made some million.
So let me ask you this: UFC fans understand one thing. In our sport of boxing, we have something called pay-per-views. The fighters get paid pay-per-view money. Yeah? Something that they don't have because the ceiling with UFC is that pay-per-views go to Dana White and his company. Hear me out on this, yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm a boxer and UFC fighter, I'm good at both. Yeah, I could fight in either or. I must be a dickhead if I'm going to the UFC.
Yeah.
Because if you go and look at what Ngannou come over to fight what Joshua Fury,
Yeah.
he earned
2
more
fights.
in the 2 fights that he had here in his entire UFC career. That's before pay-per-view payout.
Yeah.
Or maybe with pay-per-view payout. And I'm not going to hold myself to that one. But regardless, we're talking like 30, 40 million.
Yeah.
That's more than he earned throughout his career in the UFC. And you're talking about when he was fighting in the UFC, the most dangerous, violent, hard-hitting guy that they had at the time. Yeah, the best at that weight. I know there was talks of him fighting. I think it was John Jones at one point.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. But like the proof is in the pudding. Tony Ferguson has left UFC to go over to Misfits. Misfits are paying him $1 million plus. 2 bucks on Misfits. Yeah. The guy has come over, and let's be brutally honest with you, he ain't fighting killers like he used to in the UFC, right? What he earned, I want to see what he earned from that Misfits fight.
I was about to have a look, yeah.
Because he's come over and fought Salt Pappy. With all due respect to Salt Pappy, when you are a credible fighter that Tony Ferguson is, you're not going to be phased about a young 20-year-old who is a YouTube boxer. Like, and he come over, won his fight, and stopped obviously Salt Pappy, I think.
Yeah.
And you know, he would have earned the money. Darren Till has come over to Misfits, and he's become the star of Misfits. Really, since the last couple of fights, he'll be on a good contract. Again, he'll probably his first fight coming in. You can argue that they built their profiles up on the UFC, but what has that done for them in the UFC? It's got them a specific purse on a specific date. They don't get pay-per-views. I believe there's something to do with in-house sponsorships there as well. Which again, so they can only really earn money from the fights. Now, it's a different model to boxing. You can't make UFC. You can't give the boxing model, UFC model to boxing. You can't give the boxing model to UFC. UFC is one organization. Boxing is a collaborative group of companies who obviously go in the interest of their fighters. The only argument I have, Connor, and I wanted to get your opinion on this was. Obviously, UFC fans will argue, and it is a valid point, that they are able to control who fights more, i.e. people see more fights that they want to watch. Champions v champions, pound for pounds v pound for pounds. You have to fight or you get stripped. There's that element of control there, which I think we talk about in boxing all the time. You need it as well because fighters miss and dodge and duck. But I wanted to ask you this, like, what do you think? Because although that's all great about the UFC, if my salary's capped, I don't want to be there.
The fact they've got control is great, but then also they kind of don't, because once someone outgrows UFC, they don't. Like John Jones was there for what, a year and a half sitting on the belt to the point where Tom Aspinall defended an interim title. So for all that the UFC is great and they control and then they know when their fighters are fighting and all this. I mean, Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler's meant to have happened however many times, and it's definitely
that's also not happening now. By the way,
it's definitely not happening because McGregor's failing more tests and all sorts. But like the point is, we're saying your heavyweight superstar and John Jones told you when he's going to fight, if he's going to fight, and then decided actually no, I'm not. So he put the whole division on notice. And that's the only criticism of when you've got one world champion is suddenly if he stops fighting, there's nothing else going on. Nothing else that really matters. Because the UFC model is all about that one world champion. And it changes all the time. And that's brilliant. And people love it because it means your favorite fighter could be world champion because they get a big win. Great. But also, John Jones outgrew the organization. Conor McGregor did it. Like, it happens in the UFC all the time. boxing, it happens, but they're getting paid more as well. Will you guys go live for Parker Wardley? Yes, we are. I don't know if it's both of us. I'm definitely going to be there. We're kind of working it out, but the channel will be live. Someone will be here doing live sort of commentary and analysts, whatever you want to call it. We will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think so. Back to the sort of the main point of Eddie Hearn and Dana White. I think they both got a stake at saying why, but I think Dana White is very early in his boxing promoting, and let's be honest, he was gifted Canelo Crawford.
No. Of course he was, but Dana White's also not saying he wasn't. That is clearly an event. I think the point that Eddie Hearn made with regards to the pay is a big thing, and I think it needs to be highlighted because, in comparison to boxing, UFC fighters don't earn fuck all, really.
Yeah.
I just looked up the Parker and Wardley purse. I think Wardley might be expected to earn there, and bearing in mind that $1 million is $1 million, isn't it? That is what Aspinall's paid.
He's paid half a mil for his last fight.
Half a mil for his last fight. Wardley, who's a British level fighter, will earn $500,000, which equates to roughly about £372,000. Parker is expected
roughly about 300. Yeah, that's good maths, mate. Yeah. Definitely not just reading that one.
Read that one up. Yeah, we got to make it look sick. Do you like how I done that, people?
Yeah, it was good.
Parker is earning there or thereabouts, I think, $3 million.
Yeah.
From the Wardley and Parker fight. Parker is not a world champion, by the way.
No.
Yes, he's a world level fighter. He is not a world champion. And he is earning more money than your undisputed UFC heavyweight champion. Someone tell me what I'm missing.
Yeah, I mean, fight pay is crazy. The difference
what's that McGregor thing? It's the money channel. It is all down to money. The fighters have short careers. And, I can understand, like, people still have this debate about, if boxers went over to UFC, they'd get punched up 100%.
Yeah.
But you can't afford the boxers to fight. That's just the facts.
That's a lot of money, says Gabriella. I mean, of course, hundreds of thousands of pounds is a lot of money, but we're talking like UFC as an industry is bigger than the individuals of sort of Matchroom, Queensbury, Riyadh season. The UFC generates more money. Their percentage they give to their fighters is minimal. We're saying, look, Fabio Wardley, whose best win is Justice Hooney, who we don't actually have any idea of what level he was, really. And now Wardley's now fighting for the interim title.
His years
against Joseph Parker.
Yeah.
And we're saying that Wardley, who is the massive underdog, or should be, I don't know if he is as much as he should be.
I think you could put him down as the underdog, 100%.
Yeah. Is stepping up. He's going to get paid the same as the UFC's world champion. That's where the money discrepancy comes in, because it is ridiculous. Like, we're talking. Well, I mean, the easiest way to look at it for me is, let's see, that boxers come back all the time after retirement. They come back and it's stupid. We saw Manny Pacquiao do it the other week. We also saw Tony Ferguson, Darren Till, Luke Rockhold. Conor McGregor went to boxing. The amount of these guys that have come over to boxing at old ages or just to really make a bit of money. But yeah, more money.
All right, to give you an example, another one, Darren Till has gone over to Misfits, and his recent fights, the purses have estimated to be there or thereabouts, $250,000 to $350,000, and $250,000 and $350,000 for his last couple of fights. Yeah, I'm assuming that is his last two fights. Yeah, more money, which is likely higher than his highest UFC payouts. Tony Ferguson. I mean, let's look at his purse for Misfits. Misfits is not a boxing promotion, people that I promote, by the way. It's just to give you an idea of what they're paid, and I think Connor could agree with me there. I think Misfits is shit. But this is what like the bottom barrel of boxing is paying UFC fighters. He earned around about $200,000 to fight Salt Pappy.
Yeah.
That's the bottom barrel of Misfits. The bottom barrel of boxing is Misfits. That's a big statement, but I'm going to stand by it. The bottom barrel of professional boxing is Misfits.
Yeah.
And
of professional boxing, yeah, definitely. Okay,
yeah. The bottom barrel of professional boxing is Misfits. They are paying their fighters a lot of money, and to be fair to them, the show is what it is. I don't compare it to professional boxing, proper professional boxing, but it's got its own space. But they pay their fighters good though, and
yeah.
their venues are full. But before you get to some of the main event cards of professional boxing fights, to be fair. There's a fan base there for it in the stadiums that they're putting them in. But yeah, like I said to you before, I think it always comes down to pay. You can tell me UFC put on a great card. That's all well and good. But from the fighter's perspective, what the hell does that do for their pockets?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you're right. There's not much more we can say about it. The fighter pay is crazy, the difference. I do think before Dana White can comment on Eddie Hearn, I think Dana White needs to sort that out.
One more thing.
God.
No. Before you say, because we will bring up some of the comments as well. That is the least we owe you guys for tuning in. One thing I will say as well is the argument with UFC and boxing is also where I can agree with the UFC fans. Do they put on more competitive cards sometimes? Yes. Is it easier to put on more competitive cards in UFC than boxing? Yes, because you're dealing with one person who's matchmaking. Whereas with boxing, there's negotiations with different promotions, negotiations with TV deals, etc., etc. UFC's one TV deal, one promoter, all the fighters are underneath him. It's a lot easier on the UFC to build a stacked card than it is boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And talking about it's been a minute. Okay. We are pumped for Saturday, and we're going to talk about Saturday now. That is kind of all of the smaller bits of news and sort of what's been going on this weekend. But this weekend, we are talking about Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley. And there's quite a lot to break down. We'll talk about the card, but I'll be honest with you, the card's okay. I mean,
yeah,
I like it from a point of if you're looking forward to your British prospects, there's a lot there for you. You got Royston Barney-Smith, who's he's one to watch. No idea how far he'll go. You got Ezra Taylor's on there as well. Kind of now just reading it off. Danny Quartermain, good fighter. He is fighting Royston Barney-Smith. So that's Barney-Smith's probably first real competitive fight. And shout out Jake Pollard, who I interviewed a year and a bit ago. That 50 quid belongs to me. Well, you'll be entered into the wheel spin that we'll do shortly. Yes. Oh, we hit 200, by the way. Thank you for that.
Amazon giveaways there. Make sure you subscribe. And thank you for everybody tuning in tonight. And hopefully you can join us more for boxing debates before, obviously, Conor he was in the middle of a groove. But I also think it's important to shout out the fans. Yes. They are the people that we do this for. You guys bring the energy to these shows all the time. We are nothing without you. So thank you. Carry on, Conor.
I approve. The card's fine, basically. I don't think it's pay-per-view worthy, but that's whatever. Parker Wardley, that's all we're going to talk about. If you want us to talk about the undercard, you've got any specific fights, we'll do it. We probably watched a lot of these guys anyway, so that's fine. But I'm going to focus on the main event.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and just say it quite. I might eat my words here, but I don't want to sit on the fence. Joseph Parker is going to beat Fabio Wardley, and I think it's going to be quite easy.
But that's not sitting on the fence, is it?
No, I'm saying I'm not going to. I don't.
Yeah, neither am I. Neither am I. I'm in agreement. I think it's hard to say otherwise. Former world champion, a boxer that's improved and a better boxer since he was a world champion. By the way, much better boxer. I think this Joseph Parker wipes the floor with the world champion Joseph Parker.
Definitely.
And for me, I like Wardley. I just don't think he's got the pedigree that maybe Joseph Parker has, or the experience that Joseph Parker's got. Wardley has come from a white collar background. He didn't have an amateur career. He come from white collar boxing. He come from, I believe, he had a couple of white collar fights, maybe one on a charity show, and it kind of rolled from there. And he carried on boxing. And he's done, to be fair, to get from there to a British world champion, a British fighter, British champion, massive achievement. So I don't think we can undermine his achievements, but this is a big chunk he's chewed off, and I think he's chewed off too much. Pause.
No, you're right. This is a step too far, I think. Justice Hooney was 12-0. And for all that Hooney's amateur background was brilliant, and it is brilliant, Hooney has had the issue of punch power throughout his career.
Hooney outboxed was winning that fight, though, on points, till Wardley come with a ridiculous knockout.
I think Hooney probably won every round up till the point of the knockout. And I'm really purely saying it, and you can look at it as simple as they're from the same neck of the woods. But Justice Hooney, or near enough same neck of the woods, Justice Hooney is a young version of Parker. Joseph Parker is a better version of Justice Hooney.
Yeah.
He moves quick, he boxes, he's very smart. The difference is Parker has, I don't know if he's got a better chin than Hooney. Hooney's chin could cut glass, but Parker hits harder. We know that.
Yeah.
I just, in the same way, like Fraser Clark really made Wardley think in their first fight. It's really difficult to predict a fight that involves someone who as destructive as Wardley, but the step up here is immense. Like this is, I think Wardley took a step up against Justice Hooney, but I don't think it was that much of a step from Fraser Clark. I think this is going from, from your first 10 amateur fights to a pro fight against someone who's unbeaten. Like this is a big thing. We're doing a watch along Saturday. We are doing a watch along on Saturday. Yes,
I am not here, but I will be tuning in at some point to join Connor for a little bit on the watch along. I may be in a loud place. It's out of my control, pre-planned.
Either way, we'll have something on the channel. The channel will be live at the very least. I don't see how Wardley does this unless he lands another punch.
I think it's the classic saying of, I think Wardley's got a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be brutally honest with you. Like, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm going off of the pedigree and experience and just what Joseph Parker has done leading up to this point. Joseph Parker should be fighting for a world title.
Yeah.
I'm going to be brutally honest with you. He should not be fighting Fabio Wardley.
God, no.
Because if Joseph Parker does lose this fight, Fabio Wardley is going to be in line for a title shot, which I don't think, he's ready for. And I don't think, quite frankly, if we're talking about what both fighters have done, he deserves it more than Parker.
Corner better get a Red Bull. I like the name Corner. No, man, I'll just stick to water. I'll be fine. It's in the UK. This ain't too bad.
Connor's going to be on beer. That's what he's going to be drinking. Beer. Cider or beer.
To be fair, beer is the normal one. I do, yeah. Beer wakes me up, so it's all right.
But let's be honest, yeah? Let's really look at this and delve deep into this, yeah? Not deep. We've gone deep already, actually. But I'm just going to say, pause. Right. I'm just going to say, with regards to this fight, I just think it's going to end one way. And I think at best, Wardley has got a puncher's chance. He's not a better boxer than Parker.
No.
He's not quicker than Parker, I don't think. I haven't seen anything to suggest otherwise. I think, like you said, he was losing every fight against. He was losing every round against Hooney up until that point.
Yeah, you're right. The only thing that I will say is I can't see Parker finishing Wardley. So I do think Wardley will get the full 12 rounds. And we've seen Joe Joyce put Parker put Parker away. We've seen people. Obviously, AJ couldn't. AJ put him down. Look, I think Wardley could do it. I wouldn't be surprised if Wardley lands. Sure, then it's probably night because it's Wardley. But I don't see him landing. And I think it's pretty disrespectful if we sat here and went, "Oh yeah, Parker's going to beat him." Wardley's going to beat him. Sorry.
No, but let's call a spade, Connor. Like, do you know what I mean? This fight is on paper so one-sided. It's mad.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think if we were to sit here and say, there's a chance of Wardley beating someone who's a former world champion, who's had not quite but near double the fights, has knocked out more people. Like, Parker's knocked out better opposition. If you look at who Wardley's knocked out, they're not always like Fraser Clark. We have no idea how good Fraser Clark is. David Adeleye, we have no idea where David Adeleye will get to. And Justice Uni's the same. Like, we're talking prospects
against world-class fighters. It was only last fight. Wardley's attitude was, I'm no Usyk, is what he said. Now, for a man to say that, and you are potentially 2 fights away from fighting Usyk, how can you convince us you are ready? If you can't say, yeah, I fancy it. Look at Atauma's attitude. Atauma is a fighter who's 20 years old and will turn around and say, I'll box Usyk tomorrow. That's the mentality you need at this level. You can't be saying, I'm no Usyk, because it doesn't fill us boxing fans with confidence. He's 1 fight away from Usyk. And he's not ready.
I mean, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, when he said that was after the Hooney fight, he said that.
This is the other issue is, let's say Wardley does beat Parker on Saturday night.
Oh, fine. Everyone's coming back going, I told you so. Yeah, whatever. This is boxing though, but that's what I was going to say.
But I promise you that Usyk will beat Wardley. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
I will. If Wardley beats Usyk, I say this on stream now. My beard is coming off and all of my hair is coming off.
Well, I'm not saying that. That's just you. I'm not involved. But I know Usyk will win. Usyk will win. There's no doubt. The sad bit about that would be that Parker never got the chance to fight Usyk. I think
but that would be the biggest robbery.
Yesterday, Parker's promoter said Usyk can't claim, and I don't think Usyk doesn't, that he's beaten the best of this generation unless he's beaten Joseph Parker. Because Joseph Parker's there. He's beat Wilder. He's beat Zhang. He's beat Okolie. I mean, Ajit Kabai will be interesting to see who he's fighting next, obviously. But, like, we're at a point. I mean, Parker is, and I really appreciate the fact he's doing this clipped at Paolo. If Usyk somehow lost Wardley,
I regret that already. I'll be honest with you.
I'm gonna cheer for Wardley like no.
Nah.
I also don't know who I want to win, by the way, because I'm a fan of both on Saturday.
Look. I might shit myself if I have to do that. I'll be honest with you. Like, I might not be in a relationship, so I might have got a bit excited there. Because I might not have a relationship if I shave this. Like, it just looks mad. But yeah, you understand. Okay, look, I've got to put myself into a hole. Play the clips back. If he wins, get on to me. Why haven't you shaved your hair? And I'm just gonna ignore all you. But no, I'm joking.
Subscribe. We appreciate it, clearly.
No, man. But listen. Like, we can't. Like, even if Wardley wins, yeah. He still doesn't deserve the Usyk fight.
Yeah, true.
He's got to fight Daniel Dubois. He's got to fight.
No, I disagree. If he beats Parker, then he deserves the Usyk fight.
He doesn't, though. He doesn't.
But then he's beating the interim champion.
I don't
think he deserves this fight.
The rankings. Forget the rankings. Because
Parker
quite clearly,
Parker's rightfully interim champion.
Forget the rankings, because Manny Pacquiao is WBC #1. You can't talk to me about the rankings. I don't want to hear it. Manny Pacquiao is WBC #1.
Fabio Wardley knocks out Joseph Parker on Saturday. He does deserve to fight.
He does the rounds. All the heavyweights.
But he has to. No,
He needs to do tour. He needs to do tour de Bonnie Blue with all the heavyweights. Minus.
Well, I don't know if he needs to do that.
No, he needs to do tour de Bonnie Blue, but fight them.
You
not
want
the other
Wardley
thing.
doing a bang bus of heavyweights?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But in a boxing sense, sense, your mind's all over the gutter. But what Bonnie Blue does day to day, Wardley needs to do that with the boxers, but he needs to fight them. That's what I need to
rash if he does that day to day. But I think anyway, if Wardley beats Parker, he doesn't. Then he's beaten the number 2 guy.
Yeah.
And then he's interim champion, and then he's going to get mandated to fight Usyk. Usyk's going to get mandated to defend against Wardley. Honestly, I think Parker wins. I think. Well, I'm very confident that Parker will win this fight. I think Joseph Parker will potentially finish Wardley as well. We have seen Wardley hurt by Fraser Clark, and I think Parker hits harder, and is, as a professional, about 1,000 times more intelligent at this moment than Fraser Clark. So Parker might even finish him late. I go late stoppage, but I'm probably going to go points.
I'm saying that Parker knocks out Wardley. Fuck it. I'm saying that
I wouldn't be surprised. The only thing is Parker's discipline, right? Like
Parker's a 12-round fighter, yeah, who can be pressure. He can apply the same pressure now. This Parker under Andy Lee can apply the same pressure in round 7, 8, 9 as he did in round 1 and 2. It's a different Parker we're seeing.
True. But we've seen Wardley in the later rounds against Fraser Clark, and he was hurting Clark as well. So,
but he looked slow.
Well, he doesn't look as good as Parker does in those later rounds, but he can still.
That's another difference, O'Connor.
Yeah,
you can't hit.
Okay.
You can't hit what you can't catch. You can't hit what you can't catch.
Yeah, I think what we'll see is very similar to Parker versus Wilder.
Yeah,
I think Parker's going to stay away from any real danger. I honestly don't think. I'm not expecting a great fight, but I do think. Actually, no, I am, because it's Wardley. Wardley will always come forward. It's all he knows. When you got a fighter like that, generally it's quite good. But I think Parker will be too much for him. It will either be a late stoppage or Parker will win.
Do you know?
I think easily on points.
Do you know what the problem is? And this is like talking to the fans now. The problem is, and the subscribers and the followers and the people that have tuned in tonight. At some point, me and Connor might meet some of these boxers. If they see some of these clips, I'm a boxing fan first and foremost. I will keep the same energy.
Yeah, I was going to say we're not saying
because it's not.
I think Wardley's
it's not from a disrespect. It's not. No. I like Wardley. I think he's a good. I think he's a good boxer. I just think this fight is too much. But here's the thing about boxing: we could by Sunday both look like dickheads.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind it if we did. I mean, I like Parker, but I'm a Wardley fan. I don't mind that. But
Yeah,
but that doesn't change the fact, by the way, that this is too early. Wardley winning or losing this fight doesn't change the fact that this fight has come too early. Just because a fighter does sometimes win those fights doesn't mean it's always a good thing. So, what I'm saying is we can't be wrong.
No, we can, because we both agreed on who's winning, so we can be wrong, Connor. You can be wrong and I can be right on the last one, because you told me Canelo was going to beat Crawford, and I said no, he's not. And so one of us can be right.
It's called making content, mate. It's called making content.
Yeah.
You got to do it. So one of us had to sacrifice it.
No. You genuinely believe Canelo was going to win, though. Forget the content thing. We do content every week. Forget that. But look. Yeah, I quote from Connor: Canelo's going to be too big for Crawford.
Probably, I think that must be my worst.
No, it's not your worst. It's definitely not your worst, because your worst is that ref comment.
Oh no, okay, but I'm talking my worst prediction.
Oh no,
the worst thing I've ever said, maybe.
But I don't think we've had bad predictions in the past. I don't think that's a bad prediction. That's a 50-50 fight, by the way.
To be fair, expecting Canelo to win at 168 against Crawford,
and on paper, people would say it.
Yeah,
it's just when I started seeing videos of Crawford like messing about and wrestling with people and picking them up, I said, yeah, he's a 168. He's a 168. That's when
I did get a bit scared because I sent you the video of my prediction before they weighed in, and then I saw the weigh in. I was like, he's not that small.
no.
Crawford looks quite big. So yeah, oh well. But no, we got it wrong.
But the thing is, this is boxing. Everyone can be right on one day and wrong the next week. You can look like the. Do you know what? I don't agree with. Yeah. There are a lot of media outlets like us who put out amazing content, but there are a lot of people that sit on the fence. One thing we do not do here from now on going forth is sitting on the fence, because I've sat on the fence a couple of times. We just got to call it what it is. But do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? People, that's why I say from now on, people are too scared to make a prediction because they feel like their ego is going to be hurt if they get their boxing prediction wrong. Bro, I'm a fan before anything. I'm like everybody in this chat. You're like everyone in this chat. This is called Hooked Casuals. It's always going to be Hooked Casuals.
Yeah, we are casuals, to be fair.
Yeah. We're not casuals, but no. But
we will be though when we start bringing back other sport. That's when we're really casuals.
What did we? Go check out our YouTube videos of what was the? I think I actually think the worst sport we ever done a reaction to was the hillbilly slapping.
That's got to be one of my favorites, but yeah, maybe
it's favorite, but worst sport.
Yeah, hillbilly slapping is I don't even know how to describe it. It's like someone called Big Red, and they're about 3 foot tall, and then they knock out someone who's about 7 foot and weighs 300 kilos. So that's hillbillies.
Go check that video's on I think that video's on our channel. It didn't get copyrighted, did it?
Who knows? If it did get copyrighted somewhere,
go and have a look for it. It's actually hilarious. We should do more of those, to be honest with you.
We should.
You tell us what you guys want us to react to.
Yeah.
We've reacted to what was it? 8v8.
We've done 8v8 Poland versus Russia. We've done some weird stuff, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I think is that boxing this week? I don't know. I can't think of anything else that's come up in my mind. But either way, I'm back on Saturday night for Parker versus Wardley. I'll try and get most of the undercard, but I'll be on when I'm on. We'll maybe try and go for like 2 hours, 3 hours before the main event, whatever. But I'll see whoever's there. I'll see you there. Paolo obviously will try and join us, but it's a Saturday night.
No. A Saturday night aside, I owe everybody at Hook Casuals. We're here to make content, but I am out physically. I cannot be with Connor in front of the laptop, but I will make a promise to you guys. I will join for the main event, even if it's 10, 15 minutes, and I'll be watching it on a screen somewhere. I'm not sure how that's going to work because of if they're playing the volume loud, copyright. I'll see what it's saying in it. Yeah,
we'll sort something.
Either way, I'll work it out.
Hook Casuals will be live Saturday night. I'll aim to go live at like 6:30. You can join me from then if you want. That's the whole undercard.
£50 Amazon giveaway.
We've got the £50 Amazon giveaway. It's been there the whole time. I know some of you are subscribed on this stream, which is very much appreciated. If you are still here, thank you very much. If you are not, still thank you very much, but you just don't get to hear it.
And thank you to everyone that's going to watch this. The millions and millions around the world.
There are millions. Yeah, you'll see on our channel. We've been getting about 10 million views per video at the moment.
That is absolutely
fake it till you make it.
We could be there, if we are there. And one thing I will say is though, if we hit 1,000 subscribers, no. If it goes big, which it will, because it needs to be bigger. But if it goes big, which it will, the first thing we're doing for people is a live show. And a live show somewhere. That's the aim. I would love to be able to put on a live in-person show with some guests for the fans.
That'd be cool.
But we have to make it, break it and make it first.
It's got to go a bit further than where we're at, but we're doing very well and we appreciate where we're at. So that is boxing this week, 66. You can go listen to the whole thing again on Spotify, or again, if you want to listen to previous episodes on Spotify.
Follow us on Instagram, please. Very important. Follow us on TikTok. Subscribe to our YouTube. Our Instagram is Hooked Casuals. Like this, it's in the description.
Yeah, the link's in the description as well. Yeah,
would be much appreciated if you can follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your evening, people.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining. Shout out to everyone that joined, and we will see you all again next week.
Yeah, bye.
Saturday.